Ever found yourself pondering the real persona of AkaMustafa? Well, you're not alone. This enigmatic figure has left many scratching their heads trying to understand who he really is and what drives him. AkaMustafa, a seemingly loyal supporter of the notorious cult member Edmund Bucket, has found himself embroiled in a web of deceit and manipulation. But that's not all. His personal life and online behavior raise even more questions. Despite professing his faith in Islam, AkaMustafa has been known to engage in activities that contradict his religious beliefs. Requesting suggestive artwork from his girlfriend Kylie and promoting smoking and vaping in his Discord server are just a few examples. Speaking of his Discord server, it's become a hotbed for inappropriate content, with AkaMustafa's apathetic moderation causing many to abandon ship. It seems his primary goal is popularity, even if it means joining hands with someone like Edmund Bucket, who is known for his Islamophobic views and promotion of forced transgenderism. Unraveling the mystery of AkaMustafa begins now. AkaMustafa's associations reveal a disturbing narrative. Now, let's peel back the layers of AkaMustafa's relationship with Edmund Bucket, a notorious cult member with a dark reputation. AkaMustafa, you see, is more than just a casual acquaintance of Edmund Bucket. He's an active accomplice. Together they craft a web of alternative accounts tailored to launch relentless attacks on their former friends. These aren't just petty squabbles. They're calculated, cruel, and intended to cause maximum distress. Yet the irony here is as thick as a New York pastrami sandwich. AkaMustafa, in his quest for popularity, turns a blind eye to Edmund Bucket's manipulations. He's like a moth drawn to a flame, seemingly oblivious to the danger that lies ahead. Here's the kicker. Edmund Bucket isn't just any manipulator. He's known for his Islamophobic views and his promotion of forced transgenderism. And yet, AkaMustafa, a practicing Muslim, seems to find no issue associating with him. It's a paradox that raises more questions than it answers. Perhaps AkaMustafa believes he's immune to Edmund Bucket's manipulations. Maybe he thinks his association will somehow elevate his popularity. Or perhaps he's simply too entranced by the allure of internet fame to see the truth. Whatever his reasoning, it's a dangerous game he's playing. This is no harmless friendship. It's a sinister alliance that threatens to consume AkaMustafa. He's dancing on the edge of a precipice, seemingly unaware of the long fall that awaits him. Because here's the thing about manipulators like Edmund Bucket. They don't keep around accomplices who've outlived their usefulness. And so we find ourselves looking at a chilling possibility. AkaMustafa, the puppet in Edmund Bucket's elaborate scheme, could find himself abandoned, discarded like yesterday's news when his usefulness expires. It's a harsh reality that he may soon have to face. AkaMustafa, a puppet in the hands of Edmund Bucket, may face abandonment when his usefulness expires. AkaMustafa's Discord server, a breeding ground for inappropriateness and insecurity. AkaMustafa, the figurehead of a bustling Discord server, one that was once a refuge for like-minded individuals, a place where friendships were forged, ideas exchanged, and creativity nurtured. But alas, this was not to last. His negligence in effectively moderating the server led to the degradation of its integrity, an unfortunate event that could have been easily avoided. Like a ship without a captain, the server was left unattended, creating a vacuum that was quickly filled by raiders. These unwanted guests, with no regard for the server's original intent, began sharing inappropriate content, turning the once safe haven into a cesspool of vulgarity. AkaMustafa's lack of action, his indifference to the plight of his server, was the catalyst for this Discord debacle. This negligence, this failure to maintain order, caused many to feel unsafe, prompting them to abandon the server they once loved. Among these were AkaMustafa's friends, those who had stood by him, supported him, only to be let down in the most disappointing way. They left, not out of spite, but out of a need for security, a need that AkaMustafa was unable to fulfill. The server, once a beacon of camaraderie and unity, now stood as a monument to AkaMustafa's negligence. His failure to moderate his server, to protect its users from the onslaught of inappropriate content, was a clear indication of his priorities. His pursuit of popularity, of gaining favor with questionable characters like Edmund Bucket had blinded him to the needs of his community. In the end, AkaMustafa's Discord server, once a place of refuge, was transformed into a breeding ground for inappropriateness and insecurity. A safe haven turned into a pit of disarray, all thanks to AkaMustafa's negligence. His lack of accountability and responsibility towards his community led to its downfall, a sad end to what could have been a thriving digital sanctuary. A safe haven turned into a pit of disarray, all thanks to AkaMustafa's negligence. AkaMustafa's personal life and his quest for fame reveal a darker side. Peel back the layers of the online persona known as AkaMustafa, and you'll find a man caught up in a whirlwind of personal affairs that go against his very principles. Notably, his relationship with his girlfriend Kylie has raised eyebrows. Mustafa, who identifies as a devout Muslim, has been found requesting suggestive drawings from Kylie. This revelation is a shocking contradiction to the image he projects, raising questions about the true nature of his character. Meanwhile, his Discord server tells a similar tale of moral compromise. Mustafa, who is supposed to be a role model for his followers, actively promotes smoking and vaping on his platform. Instead of fostering a healthy community, he's encouraging habits that are detrimental to the well-being of his audience. But why such a drastic departure from his proclaimed beliefs? The answer lies in his relentless pursuit of popularity. Mustafa's actions suggest he's willing to engage in unprincipled behavior if it means garnering more attention. This includes associating with Edmund Bucket, a known Islamophobe and promoter of forced transgenderism. Mustafa, it seems, is more than willing to compromise his beliefs and the safety of others for the sake of popularity. AkaMustafa's pursuit of popularity reveals a man willing to compromise his beliefs and the safety of others. AkaMustafa, a name that hides more than it reveals. Our journey has taken us through the labyrinth of his actions, the troubling associations with Edmund Bucket, and the negligence that led to the Discord debacle. We've peeked into his personal affairs, his pursuit of popularity, even at the expense of his beliefs. As we conclude, it's clear that beneath the surface of AkaMustafa, there's a tale of manipulation, neglect, and a relentless pursuit of fame at any cost.